Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I have got something really exciting for all of you. I went deep into the Kadence blocks and explored every single block they offer. Now this isn't just a quick overview of the interface or fancy layouts. What I have done is test each and every single block one by one, seeing how it works, what new options Kadence has added, and how they perform inside the Gutenberg block editor. If you have ever tried using WordPress blocks, you know the struggle. Sometimes you don't know what each block really does, or you have to spend too much time testing each and every single thing yourself. That's exactly what I made this video. I wanted to save your work, your guesswork, by showing you exactly how everything works inside Kadence block. So in this video, you will see me walk you through 30 different Kadence blocks like accordions, galleries, forms, countdowns, Lottie Animations, post grid, navigation block, and so much more they have added into their latest version. Along the way, I will share with you which blocks surprised me the most and why I think Kadence is giving features that even some paid block plugins don't have. If you are curious about how each Kadence block works and want to see them in action, stick with me till end of this video. So without further any delay, let's get started. So I have installed a fresh WordPress for making this Kadence series tutorial. And as you can see, it's a fresh installation. I haven't installed the Kadence plugin yet. So first of all, for using Kadence, I'm using the Kadence theme here. And I have already activated the Kadence theme. If you haven't activated the Kadence, you have to simply navigate to the add new and then type here Kadence. So I'm using the Kadence theme because if I use the Kadence theme, there are some additional features that will help you to understand how the Kadence block works with the Kadence theme. And in the future, I'll be creating some more tutorials regarding the Kadence theme as well, including the Kadence Block Pro features. Now for this tutorial, I'll be using the Kadence Block free versions only. Now let's navigate to the plugins and click add new. To install the Kadence, I'm gonna type here Kadence. And as you can see, it's a Gutenberg block with AI by Kadence WP. So they have included the AI features inside the Kadence block, and we will explore the AI features as well. And currently it has 307 5-star ratings, almost close to 5-star ratings, and also 500,000 active installations. And to install this, simply just click install now and click activate. So after activating the Kadence, on the left hand side, you can see here there is additional menu which is called Kadence, and I'm gonna click over here. So it will ask you to allow and continue because it will get some data from your websites to make Kadence better. So you can read this, and if you want, you can allow and continue, or you can simply skip this part. So I'm going to allow and continue. And now we are not going to use the AI features, not going to explore the AI features. For this tutorial, we're going to explore each and every single block item that comes with the Kadence free versions. Now, if you take a look at here inside the home tabs here, they have mentioned some specific information regarding their page builder, which is the block page builder. And you can just go to their options here and read through each and every single options if you want. And also they have mentioned try Kadence free, so we are using the free. And if you want to use the pro blocks, you can upgrade the pro blocks in the future, but as of now we are only covering the free versions. If I scroll down, there is some additional information, which is the support and other help guide from the Kadence itself. Now for an example, if I click using the design library, it will take me to design library documents and how to use the design library and how to use them or apply inside your websites. There is some documentation here. So somehow this page is not loading here correctly. Let's reload. Okay, I don't know why it's showing broken. Maybe it's a caching issue, a little bit of caching issue. So I hope they will fix it. And the row block layout, let's click over here and see. Okay, it looks perfect here. This page looks perfect without having any issue, but the another one that is displaying which is broken, something like that. Now if you want, you can specifically, if you want, you can read their documentation besides this video tutorial. And if you go to their documentation, you can see they have all the step-by-step guide regarding the row layout blocks and each and every single block they have. And if you'd like, you can also read through their documents from here, step-by-step guide. And at the same time, you can follow my video here to make things easier for you. Now if you just click over here on this arrow icon, there are some other information, which is slider, Kadence Block Pro plugin. And if you want to direct support, you can reach out them and they will definitely help you. And they are providing great support to their free customer and a paid customer as well. Now let's navigate to the settings area and see what they have added inside the Kadence settings. So inside the Kadence settings, if you take a look at here, there are some Kadence block. So the row layouts, form, advanced gallery, advanced button, and Lottie animation and vector graphics. So there are some additional information if you want 10 Pro blocks, Pro block add-on, dynamic content, custom icon, custom fonts, and premium design library. You can upgrade Kadence block. And you can also join their Facebook group, which is a big community if you want. I already there, and I believe if you join there will be a lot of resources and update you will gonna receive from the Kadence theme as well. And here is the documentation, and there are some additional information. You can just take a look at the overview here, and if you click on this form, Kadence has the form features where you can build your contact form. If I click over here, I'm not going to create form as of now because we're gonna explore later in this video. But this is just an overview how the Kadence form looks like and how it works when you're using Kadence and Gutenberg. So just a quick form here. As you can see, it looks nice. Now let's go back, and here is the navigation. The navigation is empty as of now, but we're gonna explore. And the headers, which is also, if I click add new Kadence header, you can create a custom header using the Gutenberg block. Like you can add a header name and header descriptions and next, and also you can change the mobile and desktop layout as well. And it's completely free. You do not have to use the Kadence Pro versions to make a custom header. And we're gonna explore the custom header options in the future. Now let's go back to the Kadence dashboard here. So this is the overview, or very quick and little overview about the Kadence plugin. Now let's go back and create a new page here. We're gonna explore each and every single block inside the Kadence. Now inside your page editor area, there are several things that you have to understand how the Kadence work and how they organize everything for a better user experience. So first of all, if you take a look at here, this is the default WordPress icons, where if you click over here, it will take you to the pages and the dashboard here basically. Now let's click add new page again, and on the second you can see the plus icon. The plus icon will basically display the blocks that is coming with the Kadence block. If you take a look at here, the Kadence block, all the blocks that are displaying at the top, which is a Kadence block under the Kadence block title here, and it comes with a deep blue color here. And later on, the black color, which is not exactly a black, it's a gray color, which is the default Gutenberg block. And we're gonna explore each and every single block that comes with a Kadence. And for default Gutenberg, I have another dedicated tutorial regarding the default Gutenberg. If you really want to learn how the default Gutenberg block works, you can follow the video from the descriptions. Now take a look at here on the right hand side, which is a design library, and I hope you understand, which is the undo and redo and the document overview. The design library is very important for Kadence user because they have some existing design that you can use here and speed up your web design process. So it takes a bit time to load all the designs here, and in the meantime, if you click over here like a hero or location, page title, and everything is displaying here perfectly, you can use them. And Like you can choose any of the templates or any of the patterns from here to build your specific website sections, and it's completely free. But they have some premium options. If you take a look at here carefully, you cannot use the premium options as of now because we are using only the free options. And the most interesting part here, you can see the Cloud Connect. If I click over here, if you are a freelancer or if you are creating a lot of client projects or websites, and if you reuse the template again and again for your client projects, then you can store your templates on cloud and connect them and display all the templates inside your account under the Kadence pattern page or the library page here basically. So it's another things, and it will be a complete dedicated tutorial. And for this cloud items, I'll be creating a complete dedicated tutorial because it's not possible to explain these cloud features, because my goal is to show you the Kadence block, not other features from Kadence, but I'll be definitely creating more videos regarding those features. So hit the comments below if you really wanted to learn how the cloud works. Even you can sell your Kadence templates to your clients as well. So now let's close this part, and if you take a look at here, this is the page title. Let's add test page, and on the right hand side there are 2 additional tabs basically from Kadence, and these are coming with the Kadence theme. So I am using the Kadence theme, that's why if I click over here, those styles like page settings, transparent header, page title, page layouts, content style, and everything that is displaying here coming from the Kadence theme. And if you take a look at here, this is the Kadence block control. The first one is the page settings, which is from theme, and the second one is from blocks. So basically this control is displaying or coming with a Kadence block. If you click over here, you can see there is a Kadence block control. The first one is color palette. You can add additional color palette if you want. You can just click over here, you can add additional color and save it here, but as of now I just want to keep this one untouched. And you can see here, use only custom color. If you want, you can use only your own custom color. Like there is some default color here. If I remove, and let's say, oh, I have to reload again here to show the default color. As you can see, the mentions here, refresh the page to reload the theme defined colors. So I removed that already, and that's why it looks like this. Now if I reload this page, the default color will be displaying, but you can use instead the default color, you can use your own custom color here perfectly, and it will gonna work as expected. Now block visibility, if I click over here, let's say there is several blocks. If you do not want to display the accordion, you can simply click over here, and it clearly mentions that accordion settings, which is the control all block settings, enable all settings for all users. So you can control that features, like if you do not want to display any specific block under any specific user, you can disable and enable from here. And that's a great features, because it's sometimes we have to provide several access to our editor and some other user controls. So I use sometimes a different access or different plugins, but they have added these features internally. That's really useful. Now the default block editor, if you want, set default text as default block. So we're gonna explore this one later, because when we design any page, you'll be able to understand why this is important. And import and export block settings. So let's say you have created in other websites, and you can simply import all the settings from your existing page or existing block settings that you're using, and you're gonna use the same settings on your in other client projects. Then you can simply export from here and import into your another file or another projects basically. And reset block defaults. So basically just reset all custom block defaults or visibility settings. This will not modify any existing blocks. And here is the pixel library search. So basically the pixel is an image library. If you want, you can download the image from pixels inside your website, and you can use it. So if you want, you can disable the library by clicking over here. And a custom CSS indicator. So that's a custom CSS indicator area, which is if you want, you can enable the custom CSS indicator here, or if you just click over here, it will be disabled, and this will add a custom CSS indicator to the block editor to indicate if the block has custom CSS or not. Now let's close all of them and reload this page. So here you can see the third one is settings, not third one, it's the fourth one, which is settings, and then publish. And the settings is the default one, default block. So here's the Kadence, and this is the Kadence theme. And I hope you understand how those works. Now, if you click on this plus icon, you can see here on the left hand side, there are 30 Kadence block. So if you take a look at here, count here, right now I'm recording this video, it has 30 blocks, which is completely free and you can use to build your website. Now, first of all, we're gonna navigate step by step and explore each and every single block. So first, let's explore the row blocks. If I drag and drop it here, there is some pre-built layouts that you can choose to build your sections or specific layouts inside your website. If I click over here, as you can see, it's displaying 2 columns. And on the right hand side, if you take a look at here, there are 3 tabs. So let's understand why the 3 tabs here, and then we're going to explore the features inside the row. So inside the 3 tabs, if you do not see these options, make sure you have clicked on this settings icon here. Then it will gonna show you the blocks area. Still, if this blocks area is not displaying, maybe you are inside the page. So make sure you have clicked on this block. And here you can see there are 3 different tabs. The first one is layouts, and the second one is styles, and the third one is advanced. So if you take a look at the layout, so layout is basically the column, number of columns. You can increase, you can decrease here. If I click over here, you can see 3 columns are displaying, and you can increase and decrease the column by clicking on this arrow icon. If I click over here, you can see it also increase here, and by clicking over here, decreasing the number of columns. And also at the same time, if you want, as you can see, if I take a look at here, there are the layout features. Like if I select here, it will be displaying a 66% or 66.67% or 33.33%. You can also drag and drop this percentage and the layouts easily to increase and decrease the number of spacing on the left side and the right side. So this is a custom. If you want, you can use the pre-built one from here. Let's say this one, or this one. So it's working like a flex, something like flex, but not exactly the flex one, but it works perfectly. So if I just select here the equal one, and on the column gutter, you can see which is the medium. Let's say if I use LG, so basically it will increase the space between this item, which is the called gutter here. If you want, you can make it custom. So as you can see, it increases the space between the items, which is we used to work with the flex container basically. Now let's add some background color to understand how it looks like when I change certain things here. Let's select this container here, go to styles and change the background color red, and also select the page settings. I'd like to make it full width unbox. So now it's displaying unbox. The box layout has been gone here, and go to the settings again. And I have added the background color inside the whole row area. Now if I want to add a specific background color inside a left column and the right column, I can easily do that. By clicking over here, you can see there is an options called sections. So if I select this section, you can see on the right hand side, it's selected as a section. And go to the styles tab, change the background color. Let's change it orange color. And first I'm going to remove this background color entirely from this row layouts. And the first section is orange, and the second section, let's add another color, light orange, or let's add black color here so that it creates some contrast here. Now if I select the row layout, and you can see there is a gutter, which is a space between these 2 columns, and I can drag and drop the layouts to increase the column size on the left side and the right side, to increase and decrease. there's another options called padding. So if I hover over, you can see here, if I want, I can add spacing at the top and spacing at the bottom. To understand the spacing at the top and bottom, I'm going to add a light background color inside these row layouts. Go to the styles, make sure you have selected the row layouts, and you can also see the row layout is displaying here. That means the row layout has been selected. And now go to the background color. Let's add a light background color. So you can see here there's a 3x and there is a 3x and there is a 2x. If I increase, you can see the spacing is larger, which is 5x, and I can easily decrease and increase. So I do not have to navigate to the settings to add padding top and padding bottom and also the left and right. I can easily adjust the padding and top and bottom by dragging and dropping here. So I can easily drag and drop the padding, which is really useful and time saver when you build any websites using the Kadence block. Now let's select the row layout and go to the layouts here, and here you can see the content max width. So if you inherit max width from theme, if you want, you can inherit the max width from theme, but there is no need to adjust this one as of now because we are not going to design any layouts for this series, but we're going to explore each and every single options. Now here's the top divider. If you click on this divider, you can see there are some pre-built divider that can be used easily inside the Kadence. Like, let's add more spacing at the top. So as you can see, the divider is working perfectly here, right? And let's add this one. And also, if you want, there is another options called bottom divider. The top divider has some divider color. If you want, you can adjust the divider color like this. Let's reset this divider color as of now. You can adjust the divider height. You can adjust the divider width. And also at the same time, you can easily adjust each and every single options inside tablet and mobile devices. Whenever you see the tablet, mobile and desktop icon, that means you can change that layout inside the tablet and mobile. We're going to explore these features later on. Now let's click on this bottom divider. It's the same features like the above one. Let's select this part. So as you can see, okay, let's select this one for better understanding. So as you can see, the bottom divider is displaying perfectly here. You can change the divider color, height and width. Now if you scroll up, you can see, let's increase and add another column here. I just added another column. Select the sections, go to the style and change the background color. Let's add light background color. Right now, as you can see, row has 3 sections. Like if you increase here, it will gonna increase the number of sections, and each and every single section has an individual options that can be customized easily by clicking sections here. So I'm gonna decrease the number of column, and before navigating to the sections, if you take a look at here, there is another important thing, which is the row layouts. If I click over here, I can easily make the row full width. Like if I close this one, as you can see, the row is displaying as a full width. And here is the custom content max width. If I click inherit, you can see here right now the content width, the theme, which is the inheriting from the theme itself. So from here to here, which is from left to right, it has a fixed width. But if you want, you can also use a custom width. Let's add 1200 pixel. So right now the width is 1200 pixel. So that means if you design anything here, it's displaying under 1200 pixel inside this row. But if you want, you can also use the theme inherit options. So let's reset this one because I'm gonna use the full width. Okay, let's make it 1200 pixel for better experience, or you can make it theme inherit. And there is another options like break left sections full width. If I click over here, you can see the left sections will be displaying a full width, which is a great features, and I have used these features. And if you really understand how things work, basically if you add any image or any background image, it will wanna start from the left side and the content will be displaying on the right side based on a fixed width. And sometimes it's really hard to make things on other page builder, but in Kadence they make it very useful and easy. So let me show you if you really want to understand what I mean here. So right now, as you can see, this design is displaying the image on the right hand side, and it's connected with the edge of this browser no matter what screen sizes you're using. So if I zoom out, as you can see, it always display at the right side inside the browser. So this is very useful features from the Kadence itself, and same goes here, because it's really hard to place this one on the right hand side and keep this one at the edge of this container width here for the other content area. So that's why they added these one built-in features, and it works like this way. Like if I break right sections full width, it will gonna display no matter what screen sizes you're using. It will gonna always stick the left content area at the same width, and on the right hand side it will be displaying the image full content area and connected with your edge of this browser area. So that's why it's very useful, and I believe in the future I'm gonna explore and share with you how useful it is. Now click on this document overview again and click over here to expand the sections. Now when I click on these sections, you can see there are flex settings inside the sections. So they have mentioned here, this is the flex settings, and you can change the directions. Let's add something here to understand the flex. So to understand the flex, I'm gonna add some group here, and I'm going to change the background color. Let's say, okay, let's add another color. Let's add a blue color. And the sections, select the sections and add some padding top and padding bottom. Okay, use large. So as you can see, there is a blue color inside the group. Let's duplicate this group a couple of times and select the second group, change the color of the second group. Third group, change the color of this third group again. And the sections has some padding, so I'm gonna change the section background color to make it little, okay, let's skip it. So change the padding inside the sections by click on this advanced, and padding on the left side, let's add some padding SM, and here also small padding. So as you can see, there are 3 groups inside this section, and we're gonna understand how this section flex settings work. Now when you are using sections, the flex settings is only available inside the sections. Now as you can see, the flex direction is displaying a vertical direction. If I select horizontal directions, as you can see, it's displaying side by side. And let's add something here. Let's add 1, 2 and 3 to understand which one is displaying when. So let's change this background color to make it a little bit visible, and also this one. Okay, let's change this orange color. So let's make it darker. Yes, now it looks much better for eyes. Now select sections again and go to the general. So you can see here, if I select a vertical reverse, I can easily reverse like 3, 2, 1. I can reverse on horizontal reverse by clicking over here like 3, 2, 1. And I can also change the alignment from here easily. Let's say if I select this one, horizontal directions 1, 2, 3, I can make it center, right, and space between, and at the same time space around. So space around will add a space around this block or the group items that I have added here. So no matter the items you have added, any kind of items or any kind of blocks, it will work similarly like this one. So as you can see, this is spaced evenly, and in most cases all of them are useful, and we're gonna use this drastically when we create any layouts inside the row and sections, like inside the Kadence basically. Now as you can see, there is another option called vertical alignment. I can change the alignment here, but right now to understand the vertical alignment, so I have to increase the height of this sections area. So I have to select the sections, make sure you have selected the sections, and just navigate to, okay, change the alignment here and then go to the advanced. So basically from advanced, if you take a look at here, structure settings, under the padding and margin area, there is another settings called structure. Click over here, you can see container HTML tag. So you can change the tags from here, which is necessary sometimes for accessibility and other settings, but the most important thing is the height. As of now, to understand the other features from section flex, you have to increase the height. Let's increase the height here. Okay, I have added this height 558 pixel, and flex grow, it's not necessary, and other settings for mobile, and we're gonna explore the sticky options later. But now go back to the general settings and the vertical alignment. To understand, if I click over here, you can see it's displaying vertically top, and if I click over here, by default it's displaying vertically center, and here is the vertical bottom. And if I click over here, you can see it's the stretch layout inside the vertical alignment. So this is really useful, and when we really create any websites for our clients, we have to use these features a lot, and that's why I'm taking time to explain how these row layouts, flex layouts work inside the Kadence block. Now let's take a look at here. There is a vertical gap, so if you want, let's add LG. So right now it's not visible because the direction is horizontal. Now if I select vertical, the gap will be visible. So you have to understand what you're using and when to use, and you have to really understand the features here, which is the direction, alignment, and vertical alignment. So it's completely depends what directions when you're using. So if I use the directions, horizontal directions, it will expand additional layouts. If I'm using the vertical directions, it will reduce some features from here. Like the horizontal has some additional features like the horizontal gap, but if I select here the vertical, which is the only vertical alignment. So make sure you explore these features inside the sections, and these features is not available inside the row. Maybe if you selected the row and if you are looking inside the row, it's not available here. The flex layout is directly not available, but it's working like a flex, not exactly the one that we are using here inside sections. So if you want to explore and use the flex, make sure you have selected the sections from Kadence block to use the real flex features. Now here is the text alignment. If you want, it's not actually the text here, and that's why it's not changing its positions, because we are using the text inside the group, and that's why the alignment is not changing itself. Now let's select the advanced tab here. So inside the advanced tab there are flex grow, and if I just change it, it's not gonna happening here anything, because the items that we are using less and minimal items. And the Z index sticky settings, which is if you want, you can make specific sections or container sticky. And the visibility settings, which is if you want, you can hide a specific item on desktop, tablet, or mobile devices. And here is the block default. The custom CSS, if you want, you can add a custom CSS here inside these sections. It will be only applicable inside these sections. It will not gonna apply the other sections inside your page. And now if I scroll up, I hope you understand the margin and the padding here. Basically the margin is same like the padding. It will just add margin right, left, and top and bottom. And on styles, which is a normal and hover styles, you can always change the background color on hover, and you can always change it on normal devices. And even though if you want, you can use a background color, you can use a gradient, you can use a background image, and also the dynamic image you can change from here. And the backdrop filter, which is the pro features, and here is the background overlay that can be also used with the opacity features. So we're gonna explore these features when we are creating a real projects using the Kadence block. So now let's move into our next block. Now let's remove our row layouts from here and add another row layout. Let's use single. If I click on this list view or document overview, you can see by default when you add any row, it comes with a section. And if I select that sections and click on this plus icon, I can add another row inside the sections. Like I can add another one easily. So right now we're gonna explore the remaining blocks inside the Kadence. Now click on this plus icon here, and when I click on the plus icon, you can see it recommends you to use sections inside the row, and that's why the sections is visible. But we are gonna explore, because we have already understand how the row layouts and sections work inside Kadence. Now let's explore the accordion from the Kadence. Like, I have to drag and drop it here, and as you can see, when I drag and drop the accordion, it comes with some pre-built options like pre-built layouts. Let's select this one, and the color is coming from the Kadence. Like, if I select the Kadence block, you can see the color palette, which is the default color palette from the theme itself, and it's coming with the theme itself. Let's add a title here for the accordion. This is test title, and click on this document view. You can see here, if I select the accordion, this is the parent accordion blocks, and here is the title, and there is another pen. So basically you can type here, this is second title, hit enter, it will gonna create a new line. Now if I select the parent accordion here, I can add accordion single item here, like the new items. But if I select the second item, the new item is not visible here, because I have selected the second item, or the child item basically. So if we select the child item, you cannot add additional item inside your accordion. So if you want to add additional items, make sure you have select the primary accordion or the main one from here. Then the new accordion item will be visible. Click over here and type here third title. So as you can see, there is 3 different titles that I have added here, and if I click here, each and every single item has options to add blocks. So you can add whatever blocks you want. It could be text, it could be images, or any kind of blocks you can add here and change your website layouts. Now let's copy some text from Lorem Ipsum. Let's copy and go to our page, add paragraph and paste here. Now if you want, you can add an image here. Let's add image. You can choose Kadence block image or the default image. I'm using the default one because I haven't explored the Kadence yet. Let's choose this one, and it looks like this. So if you want, you can select them and make them as a row. You can also adjust the image width and click publish and view the page. I'm going to open a new tab. It shows page not found. So sometimes it happens. Do not worry about that. Now if I go to the settings and go to the permalinks, just save the changes. Nothing changed here. Do not have to anything. We just flush the permalink, and now reload this page. So as you can see, it's visible, right? But the image is not visible as expected, because sometimes the default block is not working as expected, and in order to fix that, you can use a column, or you can use the Kadence block here instead using the default one. Let's add row layouts, 2 columns, and drag the image and drag this content here and remove the default row from here. Okay, so inside these sections or row layouts, it's not working as expected. The drag features, it shows like this. So I would say it's a little bugs from the Kadence. I believe they're gonna fix it later. So it works like this way, like not exactly how it should work. So let's make it now, save and reload the page. So now it looks perfect. So if you take a look at here, where you can add other content, you can add any kind of information here. And let's select our accordion here. On the right hand side, let's explore what is inside this accordion. Now when I select the accordion, which is the parent accordion block, and inside the general, there are a couple of settings. Like the first one is pens close when another one's open. If you want, when someone open specific item, let's click over here. When I open this one, the other items has been closed automatically. If you want, then you can activate these features. By default, it activates. If I deactivate, it will gonna open each and every single item. And here you can see start with all pans collapse. You can easily activate this one. It will gonna all pans will display as a collapse. And here is the initial open accordion, the first one. If you want, you can also make the second one initially open or the third one. So we are using the 3 items here, and that's why there are only 3 items, which is first pan, second pan, and third pan is displaying here. If I duplicate this one item, it will gonna display another items here. As you can see, the accordion pan 4. Now click on this pen title and trigger icon. You can see you can change this plus icon and the minus icon, which is the trigger, which is the open and close icon here. And here is the column layout. If I select here, you can see you can display 2 columns for accordion. You can display 3 columns. So let's make it 2 column as of now, or 1 column is fine. And the icon side, which is left and right, if you want, you can make them left side, or you can simply put it to the right. And there is the icon color. So please note that we are only exploring the free versions. So in the paid versions, it has a lot of additional features. So in the future, we're gonna explore them also. In the pro versions, we're gonna explore the pro versions in the future. Now let's click on this styles tab. You can see the pen title color, which is a normal color. If you want, you can change the normal background color. So right now, the normal background color looks like this. So select the accordion here again, and you can see the title background color. Let's change the normal background color to a little bit greenish color. Okay, I'm really not a big fan of this random color, so I really do not like it. Let's add this color and select the accordion again. You can see there is a hover color. If I change the hover color, right now the hover color is the white color as per selected here by default, and here is the active color. And at the same time, if you want, you can change the pen title border. Right now, if I select again the primary accordion, the border is 0. If you want, you can add a border like 20 pixel border I have added here. Let's add a color so that you can understand. And this is a 10 pixel border. You can increase and decrease one by one. Let's say you want to add border only on the bottom area. So you have to unlink from here and then add the border bottom 10 pixel, and I'm gonna remove from left, right, and top. So as you can see, it has only added the border, which is the bottom area. Now select the accordion again. There are some border radius by default. If you want, you can unlink, you can link them and change all of them together, or right now it's unlinked. And here is the pen title font settings. So as usual, you can change the font sizes easily, like large, medium. If you want, you can add a custom value here inside by clicking on this gear icon or the settings icon. You can let's add 20 pixel, and you can see there is an options to change it to pixel, rem, or VW. So if you want still, you can change it to the EM, and it's a hues. So I'm going to use the 2 here as of now. And here is the line height. You can change the line height. So basically the font will give you all the options to change the font size, line height, font family, font weight, and the letter spacing. And the inner content styling, which is for this inner content area, if you want, you can change the text color, and if you want, you can change the border radius. Right now the background color is white. If I wanted to add another color, it looks like this. And at the same time, if you take a look at here, there is a border. You can add a border inside this content area as well. And here is the border radius. So right now, if I select here, let's add border radius. It looks like this. So you can adjust the border radius top and bottom. If you want, you can only add the border radius at the bottom area by, let's click on this link icon here, and on the top I'd like to make it 0, and right also make it 0. The border only displaying at the bottom area. Let's click save, go to the page and reload. So this is our random design, which is looks like this. And go to our accordion again. And we just completed the styles area, and the settings has the same options for pen title sizing and inner content padding like the other one we explore. Title tag settings, so you can change it. structure settings, which is the content minimum height. As always, each and every single item has these features. And FAQ schema, if you want the frequently asked questions, or if you are using is frequently asked questions section, so you can activate the schema options here. And here is the block default and advanced, which is the as usual general settings inside each and every single block for Kadence. Now I hope you understand how the accordion works and the possibility that you can use inside the accordion features in Kadence. So let's close all other options from here and let's move into the next part. So let's add another row layouts. Here let's click on this plus icon. From here we're gonna use the gallery layouts, drag and drop it here and add a title here, heading, gallery layout or gallery block. At the top we have explore the accordion block. And I removed the other row layouts and sections previously that I have already described here. So I hope you understand. Now let's add some padding here. Now inside the gallery block, I have to select image for gallery items. So I can simply click over here. And right now there are several images inside my WordPress dashboard. So I'm gonna use those images for gallery and create a new gallery. So as you can see, when I create a new gallery, it takes us inside the gallery or edit gallery option. So you can drag and drop your gallery to reorder them, change the order easily. You can change the order from here. You can add a caption here inside each gallery items. Also, if I select any individual item from here, I can add alternative text, caption, and the descriptions easily. Now click insert gallery. So as you can see, it edits the gallery nicely here with the masonry layout. So basically the masonry layout will fit it here because of different sizes of the images. If you want, you can also reorder or remove any specific image easily by clicking here inside the gallery items. Like if I select any image, or if I click any image, let's say this one, and click on this arrow items, as you can see, it changes its positions nicely, right? And this is one of the favorite features that I enjoy and really like from the Kadence, because I haven't seen these features many Gutenberg blocks. I explore a lot of blocks for my client projects and I enjoy exploring specific blocks, but these features is really unique and a very essential features for better user experience. And now if I select here, so you can always select this parent item for any block item by clicking here on the bottom area or by clicking here on this top area. So right now I have selected the sections, and that's why it's showing here sections. And if I select here, as you can see, it's showing sections too. But if I click on this image, it selected the gallery block. And you can double check here, it selected the gallery block. So you can understand when and where you're standing when you click any place inside your editor area. It works with the default one. It works with any third-party plugin like Kadence we are using right now. So you will not going to gonna confused, because sometimes many users I have seen, they got confused. Hey, I'm clicking here where I am right now, and certain information or additional informations are not displaying correctly as expected. So sometimes you might be looking the gallery styles and you have selected the sections, it will not gonna display. And also you have to keep an eye that you are inside the sections if you are not opening this document overview. So now select the gallery again, and on the right hand side you can see here there are several gallery styles. So right now the default one is masonry layouts and the second one is grid layouts. When I select the grid layouts, it's displaying all the images as a grid and cropped the image itself perfectly. And if I select here, you can see this is a carousel layouts. It's a nice carousel with a nice slider effect. And here you can see there is another options which is called fluid carousel. Now if you take a look at here, the fluid carousel is displaying fluid like a cart of few of the part of these images and displaying as expected. And here is another one which is slider. So basically this one works like a slider. Like we are using the gallery block, but inside the gallery block you can test several features like carousel, like grid, fluid carousel, slider, and also thumbnail slider, which is the pro features from the Kadence itself. And here is also the tiles features, which is also the pro, and this one is mosaic, which is from pro only. Now let's select the grid as of now, or you can choose the masonry layouts. So I'm preferring here for masonry layouts, and scroll down, you can see there is a column. And if you take a look at here, it's linked or individual. So if I select individual, you can see here each and every single column you can adjust the size here individually. Let's say there is a screen sizes. It clearly mentions that when your screen size is above 1500 pixel, then you can use these features to make things perfect. When your screen size is 1200 pixel, which is 1200 to 1499 pixel, you can change the number of column sizes easily here. And this is really another great features that I haven't seen other block plugins, and that's why I used Kadence a lot of my client projects for specific things, and each and every single plugin provides you a different kind of features. So I hope you enjoy this part, and I hope you're gonna like these features from the Kadence. And here you can see the thumbnail image sizes. If you want, you can change or specify the image size for better user experience and optimizations. Like if you are concerned more about the website speed, then make sure you have chosen the right size from here. And here is the link settings. If I click over here, you can see the custom link. And when I select the custom link, you can see each and every single item I can add a custom link here. When I select any individual items, I can change it, or I can put any kind of custom link here. And if I select the media file, and here you can see there is a target which is the lightbox. Let's choose lightbox. So there are several targets. Like when you select the media file, you can see there is a link image size. If you want, you can choose thumbnail or medium, but by default the full size is perfect, and you should select the full size for lightbox. And show the lightbox or caption in the lightbox. If you want, you can show or hide. And also there is several caption settings, but I'm not going to explore this one. So let's view this one first. Scroll down and click here. You can see it's nicely displaying the gallery items. And the caption is not displaying because we haven't added any captions yet, and that's why it's not displaying here. If you want to add caption, let's select any individual image here and show captions here. So when I click show captions, it will gonna display the options to add caption by clicking any specific image. Let's select here text caption. And you can see there are several options to display captions at the bottom or bottom of the image. Like if you take a look at here, it's displaying bottom of this image by default, and below images. So basically it will display below of this image, and cover blocks, like if it will cover your images. And I'm gonna use the default on so that it shows the caption when I hover over the gallery items. And if you want, there is another options called force hover effect always for mobile devices. And I don't think so it's necessary, but it's a good option. So if you want, it can be force. And there is a caption color, caption background colors. And here is, as usual, the font size, font height, font family for captions. But I always recommend you to use the global features, not to use from here. And it's a good practice to use global options. So let's save and go to the page and reload. And now as you can see, when I hover over, the caption is displaying, and when I click over here, the caption is also displaying here perfectly. Now let's select our gallery items, and on the right hand side, if you take a look at here, there is a styles and advanced options. So the styles and advanced is always displaying the same kind of information. Inside the advanced, it's displaying the padding and margin and the block defaults and some kind of known features, which is the default features from Gutenberg. And here is the style, which is the same things for image style, border radius, image filter. If you want, you can make the image grayscale, and you can change it to other like saturation or vintage or early bird or whatever styles you like. You can change it from here easily. And here is the image shadow. If you want, you can make a little bit of shadow your image. So I'm just using the sepia. I think the none would be perfect. And the shadow, if you want, you can make the shadow on hover. So by default, it should be none. And if I select hover, let's choose any shadow. Like when I hover over, it will display a shadow here. And if you take a look at here inside the image styles, there is no gutter or gaps between the items. I'm looking for gaps. Okay, so this one. So I was looking inside the styles, but it's here inside these general settings. So it should be the styles tab because it's under the styles related settings. Now click save changes and go to the page and reload. You scroll down, you can see here when I hover over, it's display the caption and the box shadow as well. So there are several features, like if you want, let's go to the styles. You can change the border radius, let's say 20 pixel or use 20 pixel. It looks nice here. So that's all for gallery items. Let's move into our next block. Now let's duplicate these row layouts. So just duplicate here and remove these gallery items and click on this plus icon here, and now drag and drop the button here. Click on this document overview. You can see here we have added a button, but needs to adjust the title. Button block. So we are going to explore the button block now. So taste button, hit enter, just create a new line here. Let's select this parent button here again and click on this plus icon, secondary button, and let's make it primary button instead taste, and keep the B capital. Now as you can see, when I select the button here, let's positioning them on the left side so that it looks nice, and reduce the gap. Now when I select the button here, I can select the buttons. Basically the buttons will allow you to change the alignment and the vertical alignment and the orientations. So if I select here, I can change this alignment left, center, right, and here space between. At the same time, if I also wanted to change the alignment, vertical alignment, I can change it here. So basically it will not gonna reflect as of now, because if I select the advanced options, there is no options to add height here, and that's why the vertical alignment is not displaying as expected. But we can explore this one later when we are gonna use this button with some content and images. But as of now, just keep it the default one. Now here you can see the orientation. If I select here, by default it's the horizontal directions. If I select here, here is the vertical direction, and if I select the horizontal reverse, you can see the secondary button is displaying first and the primary button is displaying last, and here is the vertical reverse. So it's working something like a flex, and with some lower or fewer options, not the exact same options inside the sections. Now if I click on any individual button, let's make it the default features, the default styles. Now if I select the first primary button here, on the right hand side you can see here it has some additional options. So please note that if I select the buttons group, it has some options, but it will not gonna allow you to change the button color, styles and anything. But if you want, you can change it by clicking on individual button item, like the primary button here. And here you can see the button styles, which is the inherit styles like outline, theme. If you want, by default it inherit the style, and if you want, you can make it outline. Let's choose full, SM, large or Excel. And here is the button width. If you want, you can make it full width, fixed and the auto. So if I select the fixed, you can see here there is an options to adjust the width of this button. Now select the auto width, which is displaying the width based on the button content area. And now select the styles. You can see there is several options for buttons, like the normal and hover background color, and also the background type. If you want, you can make it, or you can add a gradient. Background types, like if I select the gradient, you will be able to add the gradient background. So right now the normal background color looks like this. If you want, you can simply click over here. You can change the button background color from here individually. So right now it's displaying blank because it's coming from the theme itself, and that's why it's, if I reset, it will gonna display the orange color, and linked here to add some border radius. And here you can see the icon options. Now if you want, you can add an icons, and it's located under the styles tab here. If I scroll down, let's close the button styles, and here is the icon styles. If you want, you can close all of them to understand how it works and where it's located. So the button has three different styles, like the button styles, icon styles and typography settings. For icons, you can add individual icons inside the button, and there are several icons options, like the line icons or solid icon. If I select line icons, it will be displaying only the line icons. If I select solid, it will gonna display the solid icons with some solid background color. But I always choose to show all and type here like arrow. I'm gonna use the arrow icon. So as you can see, the arrow icon is displaying perfectly. And you can change show icon and text. You can only show the icons here to hide the text, and sometimes it require or necessary to display only the icons instead the text. Let's show icon and text, and you can change the icon position to the left, to the right, change the icon size here. And here is the icon padding, icon color. You can change it. This one is the hover color and this one is the default color. And here is the title for screen readers. So basically for accessibility user, if you want, you can add a title. If you want to mention that this button is a primary button, or it will take you to the contact page like this, it will help for accessibility or accessible people basically. And here is the icon reveal on hover. If I activate this one, you can see it will gonna reveal on hover, which is additional features, and I feels like this extra features will just added a nice additional effect inside the button. I haven't used seen these features on previous or other Gutenberg blocks, but I really like when they introduce these features here. And I only seen this one inside the Kadence as of now, but I believe there are lots of block editor plugins and they have something like this or some better options, but I haven't explored them yet. So you can recommend me if you have any suggestions regarding specific features. And let's close this one. The typography settings has the same thing here. If you want, you can simply just change the typography like this way. I have changed here. And the font family, font weight, letter spacing, and the other features like as usual the typography. And click on advanced. It has the padding, area level, button rule, or button role basically. If the button is used to trigger something in JavaScript, enable this one. And here is the default block and the advanced settings. So I hope you understand how the button works and the possibility of adding or use this button. So let's move into our next block. So I'm going to duplicate this one and click on this plus icon, you can see the next one is advanced heading or the text block basically. So we can call it text block or advanced heading block. Remove this part. So I'm going to remove this button here. Hit enter and click over here, or you can simply drag and drop it here. Now let's write something. This is advanced heading block. And as you can see, if I select on this document overview, I have selected the advanced heading block. On the right hand side, if I click on general, we can change the HTML tag inside this advanced block like H1, H2, H3, H4 to the P, and also even we can change it to the span. So if I select the P, you can see here it's displaying as a paragraph block. If I select span, which is displaying as a span tag, and here is the div. So basically you can use for every single use cases. Like if I want H2, keep it H2 or H3 if you want. And here is the alignment. And we use these features, use most of these settings or most of the time, because the default Gutenberg block, which is the heading and paragraph, doesn't have options to change the alignment, font size, width or other styles on tablet and mobile devices. So let's say you have added a paragraph and you want to change its alignment on right side or center when you're viewing or navigating to the mobile devices. So by default there is no options, and that's why you have to select here and change it to the center on mobile devices. But right now if I am using the default heading block, it doesn't have that features, and that's why we are using the Spectra block, which is the heading block for paragraph, for heading, and like sometimes div and span. Even though if you want, you can change the view or other styles for sizes, a color and background color and other features on different devices. Let's explore one by one. Like if you take a look at here, there is a tag and here is a max width. If you want, sometimes it's necessary to use the max width, and it's useful like when we are using the paragraph. Let's reset. And here is the link settings. If you want, you can change or add a default link color and the hover link color as well. So here is the default link color and here is the hover link color. So right now there is no links. Let's add link here. I'm going to use hash. So by default the link color looks like this, which is coming from the theme itself. And as you can see, there's a nice effect. Let's save and reload this page. So as you can see, there is nice effect from theme settings itself. Now if you want, I can simply click over here and change the link color, like this red color to any other color here. And on hover, you can also change it to the burn color like this way. And same goes here. When I select over here, let's change it to the H3. And you can also wrap the link. The whole headings or items can be linked by adding link here. And now if I click on styles, there is a default color and background color and enable text gradient. So this is another great features. Like if you want, you can add gradient color in your text. Let's add this one. So as you can see, these features I haven't seen other blocks, like several blocks that I have used previously, but this is additional great features that I really enjoy and like this one. Because right now the gradient text features is demanding day by day, or it's increasing its demand. So sometimes we need to use this one, and it's really hard to use hard code in several blocks. Now let's click over here. So this one is the gradient text, and here is the advanced typography settings. If you click over here, there's a typography settings, basically the usual settings that we used, and border settings, text shadow, text orientation. So if you want, you can change this orientation, which is another additional features, I personally like this one because sometimes we have to display text in different format, in different angles, and you can also adjust the height as well. So the icon settings here, basically if you want, let's change the text orientation here first. If you want, you can add an icons here inside your heading like this, and advanced highlight settings. So basically this is the advanced highlight settings, which is the color, enable text gradient, background color, and border radius, and other settings here. So the typography, I don't know why they have two different typography here. So here is the typography settings, font size and other settings, font family, and again here is a typography for font family. Okay, there is some limitations here, but it's okay. But I don't know why they have added here two different styles. So I think that's it for heading block. Let's move into the next block. Let's duplicate these row layouts here and type our block name, which is Countdown Block. Let's remove this part and drag the countdown block and drop it here. So the countdown block is basically the countdown timer, and sometimes we use this one to on Black Friday sales or any holiday sales or any kind of sales to count down specific time. And you can, there is a specific features, so you can change the date, you can change the timing and everything, and at the same time show timer at 0 if you want. So basically there are some additional features in the Pro I'm not going to explain. If I go to the custom layout or countdown layouts, you can display as a block or you can display as an inline, and you can also use the countdown pre-text and post-text. Let's say pre-text or pre-text basically, and here is the post-text and the days level, hours, minutes. So if I go to the styles, you can see there is a background color as always, and the number settings, level settings, and some additional features. So this is the advanced settings, which is like padding, margin, and the border width, color, and visibility options, which is the visibility settings for specific devices. So there is nothing to share about the countdown. You can change the styles and advanced settings easily, and I hope you have some understand the advanced and styles tab here. Now let's move into the next block, which is, let's duplicate this one first and type here count up. So the count up is basically we used it widely on several sections where the count up is used, like total projects, and also we have used to display our number of sales or total customer. Like this way we can display several counter or count up to display specific sections or create specific sections in our websites. Now if I want, I can simply make them row and display side by side and add some spacing, a gap between basically. Okay, this one. So the gap between is not available when using the Kadence. Sometimes it happens. Now let's convert this one. Let's see if we can convert it into Kadence row. Basically it's not possible here. So let's make the gap here by clicking over here or clicking here. That's completely fine. And if I select any counter or any block, there is an ending number and a starting number. Let's add a starting number 30 and ending number would be 440. And as you can see, it's ending with the 440 and the starting with the 30 here. And here is a number prefix. Let's add a $sign here for prefix, and here is a suffix. Let's add just random items here and drag it outside the row So as of now it looks like this. If you want, there are some additional information like animation duration. If you want to slow down or speed up, you can change the animation duration here. So as you can see, the animation is a little bit slower. And here you can see another options called thousand separator. So if you're using 1000, there should be a separator, but as of now we are using only hundreds or 3 letters here, or here is the thousands. So if you want, you can add a separator here for thousands. Let's make it fast a little bit. And here's the decimal. If you want, you can make in other items for decimal, but as of now you can select none. But for decimal you can select dot, which is the displaying the decimal as a dot, and for thousands parameter it's displaying as a comma. So this is a nice features like I use sometimes, but I haven't used this widely, and sometimes in some projects it's required to use this kind of features. And if I go to the styles tab, which is a show title that I have added here already, and here is the title color and text alignments, a minimum height. If you want, you can add a minimum height here. And same goes for font family, font weight, title padding, and title margin, which is the title padding and margin between these numbers. And inside the advanced, there is a default block settings and advanced settings. So here is the number settings, which is you can adjust the number font size for these numbers. So there are two options here. The first one is the title settings, and the second one is the number settings. And you have to understand when you're navigating and where you want to apply those changes. If you change anything under the number settings, it will gonna change it here. And if you change anything inside the title settings, it will gonna change inside the title. Let's change the font size here. So as you can see, the font size has been updated, and if you want, you can change the number size. So as you can see, the number size is also changing perfectly. So this is how the counter up works, and I hope you have some good knowledge now the counter up in and the counter up blocks. Now let's move into our next block. Let's remove the counter up blocks from the next part and click on this plus icon. Our next block is form, and type here form block. So this is very important, and we're gonna understand how the form works. So we're gonna create a form and also send message and receive the email in our inbox. So if I select a drag and drop the form, you can see here, let's click on this document overview. The form has nothing like generally it should have column options and other features, but by default it has the default form, and it's not the form that we created here or that we seen here inside the Kadence. So this form is different. If I click here, this is a different form. It has different features, but here it's another form which is completely different, which is coming from the Gutenberg itself. Now let's click on this name, and you can see there's a name settings, and here is the email settings, which is this one, and here is message and add field. If I click add field, I can add a text field here, and when I select the field, a field 4 settings, so I can change the field 4 level here from here. So by clicking over here, it will activate the field 4 settings like type. If I want, I can make it text area, I can make it accept or field level, telephone. So there are several fields, which is the basic fields like text, email, text area, select, telephone, checkbox, radio button, and hidden fields. So these are the basic fields for creating a basic contact form. So let's close this one and add another field here by clicking over here, and let's say text, and field level should be subject, and display after this email subject, and here you can see text area rows. So if I select name, there is a field type text. If you want, you can make it required, placeholder text, and the input default text. Also you can see the field auto fill. So you can change the column width, let's say 50%, and from email, okay, so you have to select the email from here, not from here. So if you want to make two column or side by side, you can simply select email. I'm gonna make it side by side. You cannot select the email from here. You have to navigate here and select the email settings and make it 50%. And as you can see, it's displaying side by side, and here is the subject. So the same goes here. If I select name, I can also change the width and autofill, which is default. If you want, you can change the specific autofill name. But as of now, let's close the name settings, and email setting has the same options, which is placeholder, default input, and help text. So the help text is like, if I add here email, like it's working like a descriptions, but they just added here like help text or help text. And here is the input area descriptions. So basically it's for accessibility users. If you want, you can specify the input level area, like you can mention here clearly for accessible users, it's an email address or email field, which is they can hear and they can use it when they are gonna fill this form. And there is subject that I added here. When I change subject, it's also changing here. And let's add another field. So if you want to add a field, you have to close all of them. And here is the add field. You can scroll down, but I close them so that you can understand how it looks like. So I'm going to add another options here, which is checkbox or select, or you can use accept also. So let's type here privacy policy. So you have to it's required, and show the policy links. If you want, you can also show the policy links here, and checked the policy links when submitting the form. And you can change the URL or the policy link URL from here to add your privacy policy page, because sometimes some countries require to display, or some products or some forms is essential to add a privacy policy, and that's why they have these features here. So without using any third-party form plugin, you can utilize this form to create a fully functional form inside your website. So select the form again, close privacy policy settings, and here is action after submit. So when someone submit this form, what will gonna happen? So it will gonna email, redirect. If you want, you can select multiple options from here, and MailerLite. If you want to use MailerLite, Fluent CRM, you can use them. And here is the pro add-ons from Kadence itself, and I'm not gonna use the pro add-on as of now, because if you want to use a MailChimp or auto-respond email, also the database entry and MailChimp pro add-on webhook, all the features is available here when you're using the Kadence Pro block. And right now I can only use the redirect, and MailerLite is not an option as of now. So when I use the redirect, you can see there is an option called redirect settings. If I unchecked here, the redirect settings is now gone, but if I activate or click here, it will be visible again. And here is the email settings. So basically you have to add your email address. If I add my email address, contact@riyadmahmood.com, it will gonna send the submission data or information to this email address. When someone submit this form, it will gonna send the information to this email address. We're gonna test it out. And here is the subject. I am gonna keeping this the default one as of now. And if you want, you can add another email address here, like separate with a comma for more than one email address. You can just add a comma and use any other partner or any other of your email address here. And here is the redirect settings. If you want, you can take the user to the thank you page or any kind of pages, if you, or any product page or anywhere you may take your user to that page. As of now, I'm gonna disable the redirect options. close the email settings, and basic spam check. So enable the basic honeypot spam check. So this adds a hidden field that if fill out prevents the form from submitting. So there is a Google ReCaptcha. If you want, you can add a Google ReCaptcha by activating here. We're gonna activate the Google ReCaptcha here in this video as well. And here is the manage settings. So there are just settings like success message and pre-submit form validations, error messages. By default it has some validation error message. I'm gonna using the default one, but if you want, you can change and update specific items here inside displaying the error message on different events inside your form. So let's keep it the default here as of now, and I'm gonna disable the Google ReCaptcha. I'm going to activate the ReCaptcha after some times. Let's first view this form. As you can see, the form looks like this. If I type here name and email address, let's say my test email address info@riyadmahmood.com, and this is test subject and this is test message, and check the privacy policy and submit. So as you can see, it's displaying the default submission success message here. Let's take a look at our email address. I'm navigating my Gmail. So as you can see, I just received the form submission here. So this is the form that I have submitted, and here is the information. Now let's add ReCaptcha here inside the form. So if you want to add ReCaptcha, you can see here there is a Google ReCaptcha options. You have to enable these features, and there are several guides for ReCaptcha version 3, version 2. So if you want, you can follow this documentation here. Like if I click key or get the key, it will take me to the documentations or the Google ReCaptcha key. So right now I have already created my ReCaptcha account previously for my previous client. So that's why I'm gonna use or add in other sites here. So I'm gonna use the versions 2 or versions 2 ReCaptcha options so that it's visible on my forms area. Now click create and type here my website URL. So basically this is the website URL. Copy, and here is the website URL, and I'm gonna select the version 2, and it will show I'm not a robot checkbox, and here is the domain URL. So the domain URL, you have to also remove this part. And the Google Cloud Platform, if you have multiple items or multiple options, you can choose, but if you're completely new, then there should have your own projects or only the new accounts. But still, if you want step-by-step guide, you can click get help, and it will show you how to create ReCaptcha version 3 or version 2. It's the same process. You can just follow this step-by-step guide from here. From introductions, you can just follow the ReCaptcha guide. And now if I go back again, here is my ReCaptcha. I'm gonna use my project and click submit. Okay, remove this part. And here is the copy site keys. Here is the ReCaptcha site key and the secret key. If I copy the site key, you can see there is a site key, and then if I go back again, here is the secret key. Copy and paste again and click save, and that's it. So if I just click save and reload this page, scroll down. Okay, it's not visible, but maybe I have to add here manually. From form, let's click over here and see whether I have activated the ReCaptcha. Okay, and now let's field and see the field 6 if it's required to ReCaptcha. No, there is no need to add a fields, but I don't know why it's not displaying. Let's remove, save again, So okay, so I have added version 2 side key, but I have selected the version 3. So I have added version 2 again, and let's click save and then save again here, and I think it should display here. So as you can see, it's displaying the reCAPTCHA field here perfectly. So I hope you understand how to add reCAPTCHA inside your form, and how to configure the form, and how to receive email or add email address as well. And now there is a styles area. From here you can change the input color, focus color, input sizes, and other information here, including the font size, a background color. So if you want, you can add a specific background color inside the input area, and also you can add a border width, border radius. So if I unlink and add a border bottom 4 pixel, and the border radius should be 0. And also if I click on focus, input focus color, let's add this one, and scroll down, you can see there are label styles and submit styles. So I'm not going to change the submit and label style. Now let's reload this page. So as you can see, it's nicely added here, right? And you can change almost every single items from here, like the color, typography, and everything. You can change it from here easily. Now let's take a look at here. There is a level settings. You can show a required icon like star mark, or you can hide the level star marks from here. But if you show, it will gonna work fine, but it should display the star marks so that user can understand what is required and what is not. And here is the common width. If you want, you can make the column width to 50%, 40%, but it's not going to work as of now. And these are the common settings. So I hope you understand how the form works and how to customize the styles and submit this form and some other features. They're available, all the features, which is perfectly fine for getting started with a form inside your website. Now let's move into the next part. Let's duplicate our row here and create in other sections. So I'm gonna duplicate this row and type here. We are gonna explore now the Google Maps block. So let's remove the form from here and type here maps, or you can click on this plus icon and drag and drop it here. So the map is very simple, straightforward options. You do not have to use any API key or third-party APIs or your own API to display maps, because they have added the API themselves. So if I click here to select block, on the right hand side you can see inside the general there is the locations. If I type here my locations, let's say Dhaka, so as you can see the Dhaka is displaying perfectly here. Like if I type here NY, which is the New York, it's displaying correctly here. And here's the road map and satellite map. So there are two types of maps that you can choose from here easily. And the map filter, if you want, you can grayscale, you can invert, and if you want, you can, let's change it to the road map. And if you want, you can change the strength of this invert color. So you do not have to use any custom code to change your map color and styles based on your brand color. You can also change this one. So there are several styles that you can apply here. And if I click on this API key, so as you can see, they have clearly mentions here. I mentioned earlier also, this block includes an API key, but a custom key can be used. So still, if you want, you can use a custom API key for the maps. And by default, it comes with the API key. They have added API key here. Let's change the strength. And if I go to the styles, the same things like height and width, nothing else. So you can adjust the width, you can adjust the height of your map and the alignment. So that's it. And here is the advanced settings, the padding, margin, block defaults, and the advanced options for adding a custom class. So that's easy and ready to use. And this is how the maps looks like. Let's reload this page, scroll down, and here how the maps looks like. So The invert filter is not working as expected because of changing the color. I'm gonna use the width to default, and here I'm gonna use, if you want you can zoom in, save, and reload this page. So now as you can see, it looks much better. Now let's move into the next part. Just duplicate this row and delete the map from here. Press delete from the keyboard, and here the next one is icons. Let's click enter and select the icons here and drag and drop it here. So this is a simple icon here, and if you take a look at here, there is icons, a lot of icons that you can change, update here. A lot of icons that they have added here. And here is the icon size. You can adjust, you can use the line width, like the icon should be width like bold or thin. You can change it easily, and it's working as a line width. And this is another great features. I haven't seen this one many WordPress blocks, but this is very unique features. I really like this one. And here is the color, and here is here's the color, and here is the hover color, let's say orange. So as you can see, when I hover over, the color is changing perfectly. And stacked, if you want, you can change the background color like this way. You can change the border color, but the stacked, I'm not a big fan of this stacked because I haven't used that very widely, but sometimes it requires based on the client requirements. And let's use the default one. And here is the links for this icon, and the title, let's say title. It does nothing here, just a title. And here is the screen readers for accessibility user, and here is the advanced settings for the icon. So it's very simple, straightforward, no additional informations. You can use these icons anywhere inside your website. Now let's move into our next part. Just duplicate and type here icons block, and here is icon list. Remove this icon block here and drag and drop it the icon list. Now add some text here like item 1, item 2, item 3, and item 4. So now if I select on this document view and select the icons, I can select here from, or let's say I am inside the third one or the fourth one, I can select the icon list from here, and it will gonna select the parent items. Again, select any child items. You can simply jump parent items by clicking over here, or from here you can click here. So it will gonna take you to the parent item, and from parent item, let's say inside the general there is a list column. So if you select, or if you want to display 2 column as a list, instead using 2 column you can directly change it from here as a 2 column or multiple column. Basically it's working as a 3 column. Let's make it 1 column, and here is a list column gap. So basically it will gonna add the column gap. If I select 2 or 3, I can add the column gap here. Now let's make it 1. So it will not gonna work when you're using the only 1 column, because list column gap will gonna use or applied on 2 column or 3 column. And here is the list vertical spacing. If I increase the spacing here, it will gonna increase the spacing between the item here. And the icon alignments, which is very important part. Let me show you how the icon alignment works. Let's copy some text, this one, and add some text here. So as you can see, the icons are displaying at the center of this content. Now if you want, let's select the parent items or parent icon list item here. You can see the icon alignment. There is 3 alignments, the top and the middle, and here is the bottom area. And you can see here the list horizontal icons and level spacing. If I increase the spacing, you can see the spacing is increasing between the icons and the text. So let's keep this as top and go to the styles tab. You can see the icon size, and here is the width. So basically the icon width is like the icon thickness. If I increase the width, it will gonna change its thickness. It's really useful. and change the color. And here's the icon style, which is tag and the default one. And the text styling, which is the text, basically the typography, color, and additional informations. And here is the link styling, which is for color and underline for the link. Now, if I go to the general again, you can see there is no options to add spacing or margin inside the icons, but that's completely fine. The icons are displaying perfectly here still. And if I go to the styles and go to icon styles, I can change the icon here. Let's change it to check. And here you can see the line icons and the solid icons. If I select the line icons, I can change the width here. And if I choose solid icons, I cannot change the width here. So for solid icons, you cannot change the thickness of this icon. But if you're using the line icon, you can change the width or the thickness of your icon, which is very useful. And inside the advanced tab, there is a padding and margin, as always, top blocks and blocks default and advanced. So that's it. Now let's move into the next block. Let's duplicate and remove the icon list from here and click on this plus icon. And the next one is info box. Let's type here info box block and drag and drop it here. So as you can see, the info box has some pre-built layout or presets that you can use here. Before applying presets, I'm gonna duplicate this info box several times, like 3 times, and select the section, and after that change the directions to horizontal direction here. Okay, it's not going to work. Why? Maybe I have selected the wrong place. Okay, so I have to take in other sections here. Let's type here section, and inside that section add 3 info box, drag and drop it here. So I just press shift and select all of them. Like when I select here and holding the shift from the keyboard, I can select all of them by clicking on the last item. Like if I select here and I want to select number of items from here, let's say I want to select till this row layouts, then I can hold the say shift and click here, and then all has been selected. Now select the section here and click on these directions to horizontal directions. So right now it's not going to change the direction instantly because each and every single info box has its fixed width. But if you take a look at here, there is a flex basis and we can change it from here. So we can change the flex basis here and it will gonna change its width. Or instead using flex basis, if you do not want to use the flex basis, you can select the info box individually and go to the advanced and change the max width from 100% to your desired width here. But this is not recommended, and if you want still, you can use the flex basis here, like the percentage. You can use the percentage, like 33 point, like if I calculate for 100%, it should be 33% or 32, like this. But still there is options for vertical gaps. If I want, I can make some gaps, horizontal gaps or vertical gaps, and based on that I can adjust the flex basis here. So this is little bit tricky, but it's a good practice to use grid or proper column here. But as of now, instead column, we just using this one, because when we are gonna create any specific layouts or a nice layouts, we're gonna explore these features widely. Now let's select info box and go to the general. If you take a look at here, there are several styles. So the first one is the default one. If I select this one, the second info box looks like this. Let's choose the third one. It looks like this. And here is the fourth one. It looks like this. Now let's duplicate these sections, or I can duplicate this info box basically. And now choose this item here and duplicate again. I can choose this one. So these are the presets that can be used, but still instead using presets, if you want, you can choose a specific info box from here and go to the styles tab and change the border, the styles, and everything. You can change it from here, including the media, including the title and everything. Let's say for an example, if I click the first info box, as you can see the border is 5 pixel width. Let's make it 1 pixel. And the border radius is 30 pixel. Let's make it 20. And linked, here so that I can make it all of them similar. And enable box shadow. If you want, you can enable the box shadow, but the box shadow appearance is not displaying here, which is the pre-built options. That's fine. Maybe if I have to reload, then it will be visible here. Let's disable the box shadow as of now. And let's click on media settings, the media settings, which is the align top, left and right. So basically if I select top, there is another options for media types: icon, image, number and none. If I select none, it will gonna hide this icon, and if I select number, it will gonna display number 1, 2, 3 like this way. So sometimes it requires to display like steps. So you're providing web design services and then you follow 4 or 3 steps, and in that case you have to mention like step 1, step 2, step 3, and in some cases it's really useful. And sometimes I really miss these features on several block editor plugins, but here in Kadence they have added these features nicely. Now if I click on images, I can simply upload my own custom image here, and here is the icon. And let's say if I select the left, you can see here the media type icon, and there is vertical like top, bottom. Like if I select top, I can display them at the top. If I select bottom or middle, it's displaying in the middle. And let's make it top as of now. And here is the icon size, icon line width and the border radius. So basically everything is here. Let's make it 10 pixel, or 10 pixel is fine. And here is the icon hover animation. If you want spinning or bouncing, any kind of animation you can apply here. So when I hover over, flip into another icon. If you want, you can add another icon here like this way. This is another great features. And like there is a hover color, background color, normal color. And if I change the hover background color, let's say icon hover color, icon hover background color and icon hover border color. So basically this color is for only icons, not for the whole info box. In the media padding, you can increase and decrease the media padding here. In the title settings, the same goes here, and here is the padding for a margin for media. And show title, you can simply hide that title. Let's close one by one, like container settings, media settings and the title settings. You can make it H4 and close this one. And here is the text setting. The text setting is just for text. You can change the text alignment, padding, letter spacing, everything. Reset and minimum height as well. Close the text settings, and here is learn more settings. Show learn more is basically will allow you to add a button here. If you want, you can add or change the text like read more. You can change the text color, hover color, background color and the learn more width. Let's add a background color here. Like as you can see, it's displaying like a button here. Change the white color to the text color and the font size, font family, padding top. So if you change the padding here, you can see it will gonna display a button. It will gonna display a custom button here. Let's unlink and left at 19. Right and left at 1919 here. And here is the margin. If you want, you can add margin top. Let's add 20 pixel here basically. And that's it. So literally you can do a lot of things here. Like if I select the info box, as of now, if I select the container settings, the background color right now, which is, you can change the whole background color here. Let's make it white color. And when I hover over, the background color should be orange like this way. And at the same time, it's reflect, change the icons as well. And here is the enable box shadow. If you want, you can add a box shadow on hover. So those are the great features that they have added here inside the info box, and even it's a free versions of this Kadence. Now the container settings have some box shadow presets. I don't know why it's not displaying, but it should display. And close this one. Let's click on media settings. The media settings is basically all about the icons here. So you can change the icon width here and the icon color and everything. I think we have already explored that. So we have already explored these features, and except the container background color, we explore all of them. So I just completed that container background color and go to the advanced. The same goes for padding, top, bottom, which is the inside the container. You can adjust the padding here easily. Like as always, we are following the padding from here. So if I select the info box again, change the alignment of the text, you can change it easily here. And from styles, we have already explored all of them. And advanced here, which is the height. If you want, you can add a custom height, or you can make it 100% height based on the container that you're using right now, which is another great works, because sometimes it's really necessary to use a fixed height, and that should be based on the container or the row layouts. So basically they are using sections, and we call it sections here. And that's it. This is how the info box works, but still it's not a base layouts here, but we're gonna explore in this video later. Now let's navigate to the next part. Let's remove this section from here and type or click on this plus icon, and here is the advanced image. Let's drag and drop it here and type here advanced image block. Now select an image and choose any image from here. Let's select this, okay, this one, select. And this image, when I select this image, on the right hand side, based on this image, there is a general settings. If you take a look at here, there is this dynamic image, but as of now it's required the pro versions, and that's why I'm gonna skipping all the dynamic features from Kadence. And here is use fixed ratio instead of image ratio. If I select here, it will gonna display fixed image ratio and cover the entire screen here. And if I change the view, as you can see, it's displaying the fixed ratio here still again here, which is the entire screen, which is really useful. And you do not have to adjust the width by drag and dropping here, which is really painful sometimes, and that's why it's good practice to use fixed ratio and reset the width here. Now if you scroll down, you can see the size of the ratio landscape. You can change the size to square or portrait. So there are several sizes, so you can use the landscape mode, which is the default one, 1920 sometimes, and you can use 3:2. And scroll down, you can see here there's an alternative image and dynamic alternative text. If you use here, this makes it so all text change in the media library automatically. Update your website without needing to update this block. Perfect. So if I click here link settings, this is the image link. You can add a link to this image and the title. So let's go to the styles tab, and here you can see the background color, border. Let's add border here, let's say 30 pixel, and the color is red. Add dots, so you can see it's nice, right? Let's add 10 pixel border, and the border radius let's add 200, and here is the box shadow. Let's make it smaller and make the image center. Go to style again, activate the box shadow. You can see the box shadow is visible here. Now click over here to display nice shadow around this image. Select the image again. You can also use the custom color of this shadow. You can change the color to red or whatever color you want. Even though you can change the opacity of this color or the shadow, you can change the shadow or direction here. And here is the drop shadow, which is another drop shadow, which is basically for this image. An interesting thing, there is an option called mask. Let's close this background color. Okay, it's not able to close. Select mask. There is several shape for mask. Let's say hexagon, and you can see the image is now converted into the hexagon. And if you select blob 2, it looks a different shape. If I select blob 1, so there are 3 blobs, each and every single has different layouts, and here is the diamond shape. Perfect. Now I'm gonna use the blob 2, and for caption, the caption is enabled here, which is due to blank caption, it's not visible here. It was a blank, and that's why it's not displaying. Now here is the image filter. If you want, you can make it grayscale. It looks like this. Early bird. So that's it. And overlay color, if you want, you can add overlay color here, and it looks like this. It will gonna apply the overlay color in the whole image, because when you're using the shapes or the mask, it is not going to only cover the overlay inside the mask. So this is expected behavior. It's not an issue because the mask will change the image shapes. So if I select none, the overlay color will apply the image here. Let's change the opacity here. Let's change it here as well. So I just added an overlay color here to make it little nice and professional. Now if I scroll down, you can see here there is nothing to explore as of now, and that's all for this advanced image block. If I go to the advanced settings, as of now there is a padding margin, but a new item which is called tooltip. So the tooltip is, if I add, this is tooltip text. So you can see the tooltip placement. If I select top and show indicator underline, let's see how it displaying here. Let's save and reload this page. So the tooltip is not displaying. I don't know why. Let's say right. Maybe due to full width image, the tooltip is not visible somehow. And see if there is any options for tooltip to make it works. Let's add left start and reload. So it does nothing. I don't know why the tooltip is not working, but this is how it is and how it looks like. Now that's all. Let's move into the next part. So the next part is Lottie animation. Let's type here Lottie animation, and I'm going to remove this part. Now drag and drop the Lottie animation block here. So when I drop it here, technically it's not displaying anything here. So there are two different files, a remote URL and the local URL. So it should display the animation here. The default animation should display here, but I don't know why it's not displaying. Maybe save and reload, and also reload here. Okay, so as you can see, the animation is displaying here nicely. So let's type here lottiefiles.com and hit enter and scroll down. So you can see here there are lots of animations here, right? Now let's say for an example, I'd like to use this one, this funny animation here. So I have to log in into my account to use this animation. So to create an account here, you can simply click login with Google and choose your email. Click continue. And you can simply download the animation here. Like just select any projects, like my first projects, and save. I don't know why it's taking so much time here. Okay, let's go to my workspace and see if I have any old animations that can be used instantly. Let's use this one. So I can use the JSON file here. Let's download. So as you can see, the JSON file has been downloaded into my computer, and go to my page, scroll down and select here instead URL, use local file, and click upload, browse, and here is the JSON file. Open and add a name here. Basically you can just add animation. Click upload and save. Now go to your page and reload. So as you can see, the Lottie animation is displaying here perfectly. And you can use any kind of animations. You can edit color, you can change the color, whatever color you want, you can do it easily from here. So I'm using the basic free plans, but still there is a lot of opportunity that you can apply here inside Lottie Animations. But as of now, you can see there is a playback settings. You can display some control here. You can display loops, playback speed, and some other options to only play on hover, show control. But usually I do not use all those features here. I just use the animation, that's it. But still, if you want, you can use these features. And inside the advanced, there is just padding, margin, and width. That's it. Now let's move into the next part. If I click on this plus icon, the next one is site identity. The site identity is for logo or website logo basically. If I click over here, I can replace the website logo. As you can see on the website, if I scroll up, here is the site identity or the logo basically. And this is what it is displaying here. When we are gonna create any custom header, it will gonna display the site identity, or it will gonna useful at that moment to display the logo on the header area. But as of now, it's just a default site identity from WordPress. When I select here default, and when I select here, you can see there is two different options. This one is the default site identity and this one is default site title. But if you select the Kadence block, you can see there are several options that you can use: center, title top, and additional features. But it's really not visible as of now because of the limitations that I'm using here. So when we are gonna create a custom header, we're gonna explore this one in a better way. So that's exactly how it looks like. And that's just general settings. There are some random settings here, which is the default site logo and title with a Kadence block here. And that's it. There is nothing specially to share with you guys. Let's duplicate and remove the site identity. Lottie Animations, also here the Lottie Animations are displaying. And click on this plus icon. There is a post. So type here post block and drop it here. So as of now, there are a few default posts we're gonna explore, but let's delete the hello world first. It will gonna interfere our design. Remove the hello world. So I just removed the hello world. Now go to the pages, and here is our test page where we are working. Scroll down, and this is the default post. Let's understand how the post block works. Now, as you can see, if I select the post block, on the right hand side there is several options. If you have any other custom post types, it will gonna display here, but as of now we have post and pages. That's why it's displaying post and page. And here is the category. You can display a specific category here. Okay, I'm not going to use offset. And here is the tag. Now if I scroll down the select taxonomy, if you want, you can specify or display any specific post based on taxonomy and show unique. And also you can allow the sticky post. Now by clicking on this layout settings, there are only 3 columns. If you want, you can increase the column 4, 2 or 3 would be perfect. And the tablet column, you can change it from here, but as of now it's not necessary. Now if I go to the styles, you can see the HTML tag, which is the title, is displaying H2. If I want, I can display H4, and the font size I can change it from here. Now as far as I can see, I was looking for excerpt, but I do not see the excerpt here. So there should have an options for excerpt to display number of text here, but I don't see the excerpt here. Let's take a look at inside the advanced. This is inside the advanced. So enable excerpt length, yes. So they have added it inside the advanced tab, but technically it should display inside the general or styles. We used to use it inside the general, but yes, you have to look around here and there to understand where it's located, and sometimes you have to deeper a little bit. And there is some additional information for meta, but let's take a look at the styles. This is the default styles that we're going to explore, but let's explore the advanced tab here first. So here is the meta info. If I click over here, it will gonna disable the meta info, like the name, date, category, and here is the author image. If you want, you can display the author image as well. And here is the author link and by author, and here is the modify date. If you want, you can display the modification or modified date here. Enable category, comments. So it's all about the meta settings here, and here is the content settings that I changed the excerpt. And you can change the read more text here, like view more, and here is the blog defaults, the default settings. So these are the meta and these are the content settings. And here is the styles. So styles is basically the title size, image ratio. If you want, you can change the aspect ratio of your image. And I was looking for the padding, but maybe the free versions doesn't allow you to change the padding or spacing here, and this is expected here, so definitely there should have some limitations. So click save and take a look at the page. Scroll down. So this is the single post items and how it looks like. Now if I go to the editor, let's take a look at our next part, which is progress bar. So we have only a few block lefts. Let's explore one by one. Now let's understand how the progress bar works. So I'm going to duplicate this row here and update the title and also delete. So I'm going to use the progress bar block and drag and drop it here. So it will add a single progress bar here, but there are several presets that you can use inside your website. So I'm going to keep this one and I'm going to duplicate this progress bar. So here is the second one. And as you can see, there is a circle. If I click circle, you can see the circle progress bar looks like this. So there is an options for max width. I can reduce the width here. And let's add some margin top here to add some spacing. And this is the circle progress bar. If you want, you can make it circle progress bar. And as you can see, there is some additional options called thickness. If you want, you can apply or adjust the thickness here nicely. And here is the number format. You can use the decimal here. And there is a progress bar 90% and max progress 100%. If you want, you can reduce the number of max progress like this one. So this is how it is. Let's make it 100% or 100 basically. Now here is the area level, which is describe the purpose of this progress bar. And for accessibility, it's accessible for everyone. And here is the number. If you want to show the number, you can display the number prefix or number prefix like $sign. And here you can see there is another number suffix. If you want, you can just remove that suffix here. And there is animations, the durations and weight, and is in or is out. So there is several animation here. Perfect. Now if you take a look at here, there is another progress bar. Let's duplicate this one here and click over here. So as you can see, there is a star mark, and if you want, you can add multiple star ratings here. So you can make it heart, you can make it smiley, thumbs up. So technically there are several items that can be used here as progress animations and progress bar, which is even you can use a custom shape as well, which is a custom mask, and this is really useful. Now let's select here smile and duplicate this one, and let's use another one, which is the semicircle. So the semicircle is also useful, and we used it on several websites to display the data or additional informations where it's required to visualize the data inside any specific place on website. Now here you can see there is styles here, and if I take a look at here, there are number, format, progress bar, and max progress. We already know that, and the numbers already, you know that. And here is the style, like the text positions. If you want, each and every single has that same style here, right? So you can go to the styles and change the text positions above, inside, or below. So you can make it above as of now, and here you can see the text alignment. Okay, let's make it inside, and when I set the inside, there is no text alignment, and when I select the above, there is a text alignment that can be used. And also there is options to space between, so you can display the text on left and right side based on the content width here. And the progress color, so basically there's a background color, there's a progress color, and the text styling, which is looks like this. As always, the text and number styling, which is related to the number, font size, typography, basically all the settings that are related to the typography here, and color. And here is the text and number padding. You can adjust the padding here. Let's say add some padding below this text, and it's worked nicely here, right? Now if I go to the advanced settings, there is the same goes for max width and show max progress on page load. So the max progress value will be shown prior to the progress bar JavaScript execution, or if the JavaScript is disabled. So that's useful to keep it active as of now for better user experience and your website page speed insight result. And that's it regarding the progress bar. You can do a lot of things, but as of now I do not have any sample to show you, but this is how it works and how it looks like. Now if I go to the next one, duplicate, the next one is search. So I'm going to remove the progress bar from here first, and here is the advanced search. Okay, so I think I should have taken this below the progress bar. Type here advanced search block. Now when I select the advanced search block, there is an options. Okay, I do not see the width options here, so let's use the modal. If I click here, let's save and reload the page. Scroll down here. So when I click on search, you can see the modal is appearing here, and I can click here to close the search. Even I can click anywhere, like any place here, to close the search. And the interesting part is when you select the search, you can make outline, you can make theme style, and if I go to the style, there is an options to add icons. Let's say you want to add a search icon here only. Edit, and at the same time you can only display the icons instead the text. And at the same time, if you want, you can add some padding top and bottom. I don't know why it's not working, but let's save and take a look at here. Yes, the padding is working outside the editor, it's not working inside the editor, so that's an issue, but I believe they will fix it as soon as I reported this in their support team. I'll definitely mention these little bugs, but that's completely fine. It's okay to have a small glitch, but it's perfectly working. Now if I go to the styles, and if I select here, there's a LG, large, XL, medium, and the button width is auto. So I'm satisfying with the results here, which is the advanced search options. But let's take a look at inside the typography, which is the same thing here, and let's use icon and text. And from advanced, there is a padding margin, and same goes here. And here is the hover color for text and the button hover. This is as expected. It should have some hover color, but that's it. There is nothing serious, like the button is simple and the search icon is simple here. So you can go to the style and change. Let's go to the search here, and go to the standard. If you want, you can use it standard button. Go to style, there's an icons only, input style. So if you want, you can use the max width here basically, and the line width is the search icon width. And if I scroll down, there is some background color, which is for input background color, input box shadow. Let's use shadow here, but the shadow is not visible, so I assume that it will be visible when I save these items here. And the input spacing. So basically this is the default search options without any pop-ups or any kind of fancy features. This is how it works and how it looks like. Now the input style, which is max width, I have added here, and nothing fancy here. That's simple, and that's it basically. When I choose the button style to standard, which means standard, show submit button. If you want, you can show the submit button here. And now if I go to the styles, I can simply disable the icons from here, and input styles, I can increase the padding or spacing here basically. Let's add some spacing. Yes, okay. And for the bottom, perfect. Now we can save it, save and reload. And this is how it looks like. And the box shadow is displaying here when I clicked inside this input field. So that's all for search block or advanced search button. Now let's move into show more block. So let's duplicate this one and type here show more block. Delete the search block item, drag and drop it here. The show more and show less is one kind of useful features that is really useful in several sections. Let me show you. Let's copy the text from here and paste the text and remove unwanted words, like those are not necessary. Okay, let's save and see how it looks like right now. So as you can see, the show more does nothing here basically. Why? Because you have to customize it. When I open this document overview, you can see the show more has some options. Like if you take a look at here, display height button once expanded and the maximum preview height. So let's add content here, more content, more. Okay, and the show more has a maximum preview of the height. So as you can see, the height is like 250 pixels. Let's make it 150. It looks like this. Now if I click save and go to the page, let's say you read, you have added a little bit of content on specific sections, and now user click on show more, it will gonna display more content here, and show less will gonna hide the remaining part of this content. And this is exactly how it works. And inside the sections, you can add whatever information you want. So that's completely fine. So when I select the show more, it has only two options, which is display or hide the button once expanded, and fade out preview, like this way. So the fade out is really looking perfect. Now reload again, scroll down, and you can see it looks much better, right? So user can easily understand that there is something more here to read. I can simply click and hide. Perfect. So here if I go to the advanced tab, there is a padding, expand setting, and here is the block default. So the default settings from the block itself, and that's it. Now let's move into the next part, which is our spacer divider. So basically it's a spacer block or the divider block. Let's remove the show more block from here. Okay, select the show more and remove. And now drag the spacer divider, drop it here. The spacer divider is very simple and straightforward. Like if I increase the height, it has its fixed height. If I increase the divider height, it can be changed, and the width can be make it 100%. And here is the height of this total spacer. It will not gonna increase the height inside the spacer. And here is the alignment. There are several styles inside the spacer, which is solid by default, and the dash is not the default. You can change it dotted or stripe. So how it looks like. Now let's make the color a little bit different so that you can understand what's going on here. And the stripe width, if you want, you can change it to the deeper or wider. You can add the strip gap, and here is the height. So sometimes we have used stripe on several projects, but it's not always a good practice to use randomly. So basically we design a website first in Figma, then move into the WordPress after finalize with the clients. So there is a lot of things that needs to be taken care at that moment. And go to the advanced settings, just default settings for advanced. There is nothing fancy here. And that's it for spacer block. Let's move into the next part here. So I'm going to duplicate this part and remove the spacer. The next one is table. So the table is basically the table block, and when I drag and drop, basically it will gonna ask number of columns and rows. So let's say you want 3 columns and 4 rows. Let's increase the rows to 10 rows and create table. So this is exactly how it looks like. So you can add content here. So this is text content, and below there is a plus icon. So in several tables I have seen that there is no options to add additional items like image, like additional block. But in Kadence, the difference is you can add additional item like text, images, whatever item you want. Literally you can add any kind of block inside your table. So that's the only difference that I have seen here for Kadence, and I really like these features, because in Gutenberg the default table also do not allow you to add specific features like image, content, but this is how it is. So they have added a lot of features like adding a random blocks, adding any kind of blocks literally. Now select the table and explore what kind of styles that they have added. So when I select the primary table here, there is a row, you can increase or decrease here easily. A column, you can increase or decrease the column. And here is the header. So the first row is the header. If you want, you can make your first row as a header, but if you do not want, you can just disable. And the first column is header. If you want, a first column should be working as a header, and there is a secondary columns. Now let's make first row is header, and the column width right now it's auto. If you disable this one, there is an options to make the fixed column width, which is really useful. And literally this table will blow your mind. If you have used table inside any block or any other page builder, I will challenge you, this table will be a great tools for you if you are used to display affiliate products or any kind of products inside table that requires table, and it has everything that you can adjust it easily. So now I'm gonna use the auto width here, sticky settings, which is the pro settings, but as of now we cannot utilize or use that one. And here's the max height and max width and off scroll and overflow excess scroll, which is also fine. Now if I go to the styles tab, there is cell padding. So you can add padding here, like if I select, you can add padding globally perfectly. And cell typography, header typography, row backgrounds, and the column background as well. So you can change the column background individually. That's very useful because sometimes we need to change a different background for different columns. But when it's come for table, literally there is no options inside the default table to change the background color for column and for row. But here you can also change the color for row as well. Like let's change the color a little bit here. and use odd even. So right now I have added a background color for column, and that's why the row is not visible. But let's try this one and remove the column background color so that you can understand how the odd even looks like. So you can literally change it or customize the odd even color without having any issue inside your table. And just select the table here again, and here is the border. Let's say you want to add border all over the place, and it's added here nicely. Select the table again, and there is the additional features for borders, cell padding, typography, header typography, row backgrounds and column backgrounds, and row height. In case if you want, you can adjust a fixed height or add a fixed height inside the row when using the table. And the advanced is, as always, the padding, margin and the default blocks. So that's it for table, and I hope you enjoy this table block because I haven't seen any table block like this one the Kadence does here. So let's duplicate and type here. It's a table block. So go to the plus icon, and there is a table of contents. So I'm gonna place this one at the top of this website so that you can understand how the table of contents looks like. So it should be table of content block, and add here table of contents, which is this one. So when I select table of contents, it will be displaying all the items that is available here. Let's add save, and if you want, you can only display the H2 here and click save. Go to the page and reload here. So as you can see, when I click gallery block, it will take me to the gallery block, and when I click title, it will take me to the title area. Let's say I'm gonna navigate to the post block, click here, and it takes me to the post block. Now let's explore the styles inside the table of content. So currently I'm using the H2. When I select the table of content, you can see the allow headers H2. Basically the H2 will gonna help me to only navigate through the H2 heading, which is added inside the page. But if you want, you can target other headings inside the same page by activating the items from here. And here is the collapse settings. So enable collapsible content. If I click over here, you can see here the table of content will be collapsible. Like when I click here, it will be visible or invisible by clicking over here again. And start collapse, if I select this one, let's say, and view the page. So by default, it will be collapsed. Now when I click over here, it will gonna show the table of content. Now go back again and see enable title to toggle as well as icon. So if I activate this one, let's see how it looks like. So it will gonna enable the title to toggle as well as icons. So basically if I click here right now, it's not going to change or hide this table of content. But now if I reload this page again, I can click anywhere. So basically what it does, it just activate the toggle options. As you can see, my hand is appearing here. So if I click this white space, it will gonna work like a toggle. Like I can click here, here, or here, or here. It will gonna visible and hide or hidden. Now go to the styles tab. So basically there is a title settings like the color, typography, font size for this table of content title. And here is the link settings. If I close, and here is the link settings. Here's the list settings. So the list settings is basically the list gap, the list item color, underline, and the hover color, font size. So default typography settings, margin, and the container has the background color and additional information like the border and border radius. Like if you want, you can add a background color inside the container and add a border radius here, like 20 pixel is perfect. And now if I close this one, there is a container setting. Okay, I have explored that on already. And here's the box shadow. If you want, you can use the box shadow. and the advanced settings will help you to add some width here. Now click save and reload the page. So as you can see, the table of content looks like this. It looks nice and professional, right? Now if I click over here, it will gonna open, and click on advanced search or Lottie animation. It will gonna display the Lottie animation here. It will gonna take me basically the exact place, like progress bar block or table of content or site identity, whatever the title you have added here, it will gonna display here. Now if I activate the other items, let's activate them, H4, H3. So basically there are no H2, H3, H4, and that's why it's displaying very few of them. Like this is advanced heading block, this one has H3, and that's why it's displaying the second level. If there is a H1, it will be displaying at the top level. So it will gonna nesting one by one inside this level based on the number of headings that you have added here inside this page. Now I hope you have some good understanding how the table of content works and how to configure it. Now let's move into the next part, which is tabs. So let's add a heading here first. Okay, let's remove this section or basically the table and add a title here. So type here tabs. So we're gonna explore the tabs block. And the tabs block, just hit enter and you can just drag and drop it here. When I add the tabs block, you can see here there are several styles inside these tab blocks. So these are the preset. We're gonna explore each and every single preset here. Let's select the first one. The first one looks like this. Very simple, and you can add whatever information you want inside your tab. And here is the second one. It looks perfect. So literally, if you want, you can add a whole container or any kind of blocks inside the tab. So previously it was really hard to add additional information like the additional blocks inside tabs, but right now it's perfectly working without having any issue or blockers. So as of now, let's add column or row here. Let's add content and add image here. And this is how the tab 1 looks like. Now if I add another tab here, and you can see there are several styles like this one. Let's choose this one. You can see this is displaying at the center, and you can add another container or additional information here inside the tabs. Just let's copy this row and paste here. This is very simple, right? And a straightforward process. Now let's take a look at here first, and we're gonna explore what can be done inside the tabs. Click table of content and click tabs block. So as you can see, the tabs block is displaying perfectly here. So this is 1, 2, 3, and here is the second one, 3, 2, 1. Now let's understand what can be done inside the tabs. So I'm gonna change the layouts here. Okay, select the row layouts and change the direction first. Adjust the flex settings here like this one, and let's change the image for better visualization. Let's use this one and add some spacing at the top. So I'm going to add some padding. Okay, not here. So here is the tabs content. Let's select the tabs content. The second one, this only applies the padding here. So I think it's enough or okay as of now. And if I want, I can change the layout. So let's explore the layouts and possibility inside the tabs. When I select the first tabs, you can see there is a two layouts by default, and you can initially open 1, 2 or any kind of tabs that you can select from here. And you can initially open tab 1, tab 2 or tab 3, any of them you can initially open here. Just select and it's gonna work as expected. Now I'm gonna remove this one, just keep the one. And the content settings, the background color, if you want, let's change a little bit of color here. And the border radius can be changed. Let's make 20 pixels, so it can be changed easily here, but I'm gonna use the 0 as of now and select the style. So there is a lot of things that can be done when using the tabs content for style purpose. So you can change the tab title color settings. You can change the title background color. Let's add, and here is the normal color. If you want, you can make it as active color. Let's change the active background color to this one, and the active text color should be white color, and the border color is also this one. Perfect. And here is the tab title width, spacing, border. So you can use the percentage. You can use the percentage of the width. So if I use 3 column, it will gonna cover the 3 columns area. And if I increase the tab, then it will gonna cover 100% still, but with the 4 column tab. If I use the 4 column, and the gutter is basically the gaps. Let's increase. As you can see, it looks like this. And let's add the background color as well. So there is a title padding. Add some padding top, let's say 15 pixel, and the bottom is 15 pixel. That's perfect, right? So a lot of options that they have added here. Let's add some top and right border radius, and you can also change the hover color here. And if I want, I could add a hover background color, this one, and the hover text color to white, and the border color is also this one. Perfect. And if you still want, you can change the tab's content background color. Let's go to the settings here, and here is the content background color under the content settings. Now let's change the content background color, this one, and you can literally change the content color here. But as of now, you have to change the normal title or the text color to see if there is options for tab title, title icons, subtitle or icons. So there's no options to change this color as of now. We can change it from here, but let's make it not change the color. Let's change the tab background color to the lighter one, just a little bit of contrast color, and save. Now reload the page, reload, and as you can see, the tabs looks like this. So these 2 or 3 tabs, it doesn't have the content, but as you can see, this one has the content, and this is how it works and how it looks like. So there's a lot of possibility that you can add here. If I click on this plus icon, it will gonna add another tabs, but at the same time I have set up a limitation here, which is 3 columns. I have to increase it 4 columns to display or fit the 4 tabs here. And reduce the gutter gap 20 pixel, and this is the title settings, the border, width and spacing, and here is the tab title font settings. Just explore one by one. And here is the anchor, tab anchor for HTML, and tab 2 anchor. So here is the subtitle settings. Show the subtitles if you want. Let's activate, and it will gonna display the subtitles. Sometimes it is very useful in some cases where we need to display subtitles in tabs, and I have seen several websites and designs which is really useful to display subtitles when it's built in by default inside the tabs block, and Kadence did it perfectly here. Now go back to the settings, advanced settings. This is the padding and margin, which is as expected, and here is the settings items, which is the subtitle settings and title icons, and some additional information for the settings. This is like the general settings and as expected options inside the styles tab. Now let's duplicate this one and remove the tabs item and click on this plus icon here. The next one is testimonial. So type here testimonial block. So this is a testimonial block, like best product I have ever used. So here is the content. If you want, you can add some additional content here, or basically the feedbacks. And let's say Riyadh, CEO of Creator Mark, and you can add image here. Let's say I use this one. Perfect. And now if you take a look at here, when I select the testimonial, there is several styles that you can use here. Let's choose the first one. The first one is the default one that is displaying here, and the layouts before navigating the styles, if you take a look at here, there is a grid and carousel layouts. So literally you will have a testimonial carousel, which is a free carousel. Now let's duplicate this one, and as you can see, it has 3 carousel, which is working perfectly. Even if you want, you can add 2 column inside the carousel. Nice, right? Now here is the column gutter, which is the column gaps. And now let's take a look at the testimonial style. There are several styles that can be used. This one, and I personally use this one several times on several websites. And here is the carousel loop, like infinite loop here, and carousel slide transition speed, carousel 1 by 1 or wall, and the arrow style, which is like the arrow is displaying here. You can change it. And if I go to the styles, I was looking for the title basically. So when I select the title, I can change the title size to H4 for better user experience. And here is the other settings for container settings, which is the background color. If you want, you can add a background color that match with this arrow icon. And border, you can add a border radius. By default it has some border radius. If you want, you can make it completely 0. And so the 0 is not possible, it has still some border radius here. And if I want, I can add some border. Yes. So there's a box shadow and the icon settings. If you want, you can show icons at the top, which is the testimonial icons or the quotes basically. And here's the color. If you want, you can add any color. So this is fully customizable. A lot of possibilities that can be used here and achieve any layout inside Kadence. Now if I scroll down, there's a container settings. We have done that. And the title settings, let's close the container, the icons, and the title, and the rating settings. So by default, the rating is not visible, but still if you want, you can make it visible. You can make the rating font size, you can change it, and there is a content settings as well. So each and every single item has its own padding and margin. Like the icons has its own padding margin, the container has its own padding and margin here. Even let's close this one, the title has its own padding and margin here. So each and every single styles has its own settings. So that means literally you can customize every single corner here inside the testimonial, including the names, media settings, and everything can be changed and updated here. Now if I scroll down, you can see the name settings. Let's close the media settings. The media settings has some additional features like the border radius. You can make it same circle or semicircle or whatever custom radius, you can add it here. And you can add the media margin. So I have seen here uncountable features that can be in a result, will give you any kind of layouts, any kind of results inside the Kadence. And here you can see the fonts family, the occupations, basically the your designation, and you can change the color, you can change the typography, fonts, letter spacing, and everything can be changed here. So let's click save and take a look at here inside our page. Let's reload, and this is how it looks like. Now let's explore the navigation block here. So I have seen that navigation is a little bit of new blocks, and many of you don't know how the navigation block works and how to make a nice navigation. So let's remove the testimonial here and type here navigation block. The navigation block will help you to create a custom navigation inside Gutenberg WordPress. So you can simply drag and drop it here. And if I click over here, you can see import WordPress menu. So basically when I select the menu and click import, it will gonna import my default navigation. So what I mean the default navigation, basically this is the default one. So it will gonna import here. Instead importing, if you want, you can create a new one, but let's import first. So here you can see this is the existing navigation we have inside our WordPress. Now you can literally change the styles to vertical, horizontal, like for the desktop orientations and the tablet orientations. And you can add a custom link here. You can choose the post, you can choose pages, you can choose the category here. And like the as usual navigation that we have used inside WordPress, it's the same thing but inside the Gutenberg. Now let's say for an example, if I click on page and select test page and click add to menu, so as you can see the test page has been added here. I can drag and drop it here. I can click here, change the URL, or I can add a sub menu link, and then I can change the label basically, but you cannot change the URL because it's not a custom menu. So let's use tutorial page, Kadence tutorial page, and click close and hit done editing. So here I have added the navigation items. Now if I click over here, I can change the alignments. So first of all, understand when I select the navigation parent items, there are several styles and general settings that needs to be taken care and understand how it works. So now click save first and go to the page and reload. So as you can see, this is just a simple navigation. Now if I go to the editor again, and you can see there is navigation, I can create a new navigation. We're gonna create new one, no worry, and open navigation builder. It's the navigation builder that I just added here. And here is the orientations, like you can use a vertical navigation, you can use horizontal navigation. So I'm going to open a navigator here and I'm going to add sub menu link. Let's add test sub menu and hash close, and add another sub menu link, another sub menu hash close, and add another one, just hash and close this one, and done editing. So I have added the sub menu links here, and as you can see, it's displaying nicely here inside the editor itself. Now when I take a look at here, there is the orientations. Now if I select vertical, I can see the vertical doesn't display the sub menu items. Maybe it will display at the front end, but let's try to use this one as of now. I'm going to use the horizontal menus, and here is the spacing between the items. Now vertical item spacing you can add, but right now I'm using the horizontal and I'm going to keep 1 EM as of now. And here is the layout options, which is the horizontal layout, which is standard, and stretch. Basically it will gonna stretch the layouts. And here is the grid layout. So you can adjust the column easily like we did in list items. Now I'm going to use the standard layout for making this video. And here you can see the another options, which is the other options, make parent of the current menu item active. So if you take a look at here, make parent of the current menu item active and activate anchor links on scroll. So basically it will gonna use the auto and manual anchor links on scroll, but I'm not going to use any of them as of now. So click on the styles tab, you can see the styles is standard, full height, and the underline. So basically, if I use the underline or standard, it will not going to display here. So I have added underline, and let's save. Let's take a look at here one by one and click here the navigation block, and as you can see the underline. So the active menu, which is currently we are inside the test page, and active has underline, and here is nicely added underline when I hover over with a nice animation effect. That's so cool, right? Now if I select the navigation again, there is some additional information like full height underline, and the navigation item styles. If you take a look at here, there is a normal color, and there is a hover color and hover background color. So literally you can change the color on normal, on hover, and active color. That's so amazing, right? And the divider settings, if you want, you can add a divider. Let's say I have added 4 pixel and add a color here. So as you can see, it has divider as well. Let's remove as of now. And the typography and submenu styles, if you want, you can make the submenu fade in or fade up or fade down, basically. Nice. Let's make it fade up. Cool, right? And the drop down width and vertical spacing, everything can be changed here. So when I tested the Kadence, I was wondering and I was confused whether I'm using their pro versions or the free versions, because it has a lot of features that even I haven't seen in pro versions on some of the Gutenberg blocks that I have used previously. But Kadence just nailed it. It adds a lot of information inside the block, and each and every single items I'm exploring here today, it's mind-blowing. So I'll definitely use the Kadence more and more in the future video, and please share your feedback and experience with the Kadence as well. Now let's take a look at the sub menu here, and I have already there's a lot of information here. So just like border radius, border, drop down width, spacing and everything, like you can change the width of the drop down. That's cool, right? And also if you take a look at here, there is a sub menu links, which is a normal, hover and active color as always, like the sub menu descriptions if you want, and here's the typography. And here's the typography settings for submenu descriptions and description styles. So they cover each and every single item inside the submenu and the normal menu as well. Now let's click on advanced. This is all about the navigation, padding, margin and additional styles. Now if I click any individual items, it has the alignment, level and URL and attributes with the descriptions. Now if you take a look at here, inside the styles, and there is some pro versions, still they have a lot of things like the icons you can add here inside the pro versions and advanced tab as well. Now click save and take a look at here to see what they have added inside the mobile menu. So as of now, it's not displaying the mobile menu by default. Let's see if they have added any additional information for mobile devices. Now if I change to tablet, and then there is mobile device here. So as of now, I do not see any options here. Let's find out here if they have added anywhere else, because I haven't used these menu items recently. And I do not see the mobile version here. So let's take a look at their documentations. So here is the off canvas menu items. What about the navigation block, navigation mobile menu? So maybe I have missed that, or the Kadence navigation advanced block, this one. So let's see if there is any options for mobile device. So maybe there is an options when we are creating header. Inside that header, I assume that there should have an options. So use responsive control to modify for desktop and mobile devices. Like the no toggle options, maybe they have added mobile devices or mobile options inside the header area. I assume that. So technically it should display when we are using the header. So let's explore, because this is the pretty new and I haven't used that previously. Now let's add advanced header and see there is an option called create header. Let's choose existing header from here. Okay, new header, next, and choose this one, and here is the mobile header. So I think it's available here when we are using the navigation here inside the editor directly. So as you can see, for mobile devices it's instantly appearing here nicely, right? And here is the header and customization features. So when I click off canvas trigger, I can easily change and update my off canvas trigger additional informations. So that's little bit of in-depth tutorial. I think I should have created a complete individual tutorial for this header and mobile navigation basically. So we can explore this one in a complete dedicated tutorial, because this header is similar to the Kadence header, and here we are not going to use the Kadence customizer header or something like that, but it's exactly similar to the Kadence one. If you are familiar with the Kadence previously, like from the customizer we can create the header, and similar to that customizer header builder, they have added the header builder inside this area. But as of now we are not going to use this one, so I will gonna show you a complete dedicated tutorial later on, because I'm not going to spend so much time here for this header. We're gonna create a dedicated tutorial for that, like this one, like the header here you can see. So now let's move into another part. Let's duplicate and scroll down. You can see video pop-ups. So let's type here video pop-up and remove this navigation bar and type here or drag and drop it here. So now when I select the video pop-up, I can easily add the video URL here. Let's navigate to my YouTube channel and let's copy this URL, paste here, and the video ratio is default, and here is the mobile video pro and embed YouTube with no cookies. Okay, just use the default one, click save and reload. Video pop-up. So when I click over here, it will gonna place the video instantly here, right? But the image is not displaying here. Why? Because we have to add a video thumbnail here, a image. So basically we can add any kind of image, let's say this one, and when someone click over here, it will gonna pop up the video. And if you take a look at here inside the general settings, there is video types. You can use YouTube, Vimeo and VideoPress, and the ratio is default. You cannot change it as of now with the free version. And the poster type is image. You can use the video poster for the pro versions or pro add-on, and the poster background, if you want, you can add a background color as well. Now if I go back styles, you can see the max width. So you can increase and decrease the max width with the pop-up. It's not gonna change it here. And the pop-up background color you can change, like as of now if I click here, the pop-up has a background color here which is a little bit of gray color. You can change it. You can change the width here, and you can change the close background color or pop-up close color, which is this button color, and the background color here, and the pop-up animation, play icons and everything here inside the pro version. And for the advanced, you can see the padding, margin, and the as usual the default blocks. So that's it for a video. There is nothing fancy here, but the one thing, it's play automatically. So we can disable the autoplay if it's enabled by default. So it's disabled now, and it should just pop up and wait to click on the play button. Now let's select the row here and duplicate again, and then type here vector graphics. So the vector graphics is basically will allow you to add a vector here, and technically if I click over here, it's just a vector graphics, and you have to add a new vector and new code here to use the vector. But as of now, this is the default one, and it's something like SVG icons or vector icons basically, and SVG code comes with a SVG code. But as of now, I do not have any sample to show you, so we're gonna keep this the vector as of now, and that's it. Now let's understand the advanced form. Not this one. Duplicate, advanced form. So we have explored the form already, but I was wondering, what does the advanced form mean? So the advanced form is the form that we have initially see this inside the form builder inside Kadence. So it has some additional features, like we can add, if I click over here, you can see there is some field, there is some advanced field like timer, file, accept, hidden. So those are only specifically for the forms. So previously we have added the basic form at the top, and this one is the advanced with some additional field. So I'm not gonna spend so much time here, but we're gonna explore this one when we are gonna create a new form from this settings area. Like if you take a look at here inside the Kadence, there is a dedicated items for forms and navigations and headers. So we're gonna explore the forms, the navigation and the header in the future video, where we're gonna explore one by one with the pro versions and the dedicated form here that is displaying here. Now right now the basic form is enough to get started, and there's a lot of options. If you are interested, I highly recommend you to give it a try and try it out yourself, each and every single field and how it works. So it's really useful. Like the layout has some row layouts options, sections, advanced heading, separator, spacer, and miscellaneous has some submit button, captcha. So those are useful and similar to the form that we are using. Now if we click on this plus icon, you can see the Kadence block is displaying all the items that is related to the form. So it wasn't there for the basic form, but for the advanced form you have seen some additional blocks, which is especially for the forms field. And if I scroll down, we have completed all the items inside the Kadence. And that's it. We have just explored all 30 Kadence blocks together. I hope this video will help you to understand how each and every single block works and what Kadence has recently added. For me, the most exciting part was seeing how flexible these blocks are. Honestly, Kadence is giving features that I have only seen in the paid plugins. And it's all inside Gutenberg. And this was just the start. In the future, I'm planning to create a full project using only Kadence. So you will see me how these blocks works and comes together to build a complete WordPress websites. If that sounds interesting, make sure you subscribe to this channel and like this video so that you don't miss it. I would also love to hear from you. Do you have any questions about specific Kadence blocks, or maybe you have already tried Kadence and have some feedback? Do share. So drop your thoughts in the comment sections. I read each and every single comments personally. So that's it. Thanks for watching.